Hey everybody, I am super excited to be sharing my card today. I was asked to be a guest designer for Concord and Ninth for their March release, and I absolutely love Concord and Ninth's products. So of course I said yes. I actually have two videos on my channel today, and I will have the other one linked up in the upper right hand corner for you. This video is going to be featuring the dotted fill-in stamp set, and it actually comes, well, you can purchase the two dies separately, so you can kind of cut out a few of those dots and have some sort of pattern or color showing through, and then there is a row of hearts. And to be honest, I couldn't figure out how I was going to use the dies, so I didn't. I am not very good at lining things up, so I just use a stamp set today. All right, before I move on, if you haven't done so already, please give this video a thumbs up, and I love reading your comments, so leave me one down below. And if you are new to my channel, I hope that you subscribe and hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I upload a video. And also, I do a live stream every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. All right, so I am using some Simon Hurley dye ink, and I am doing a swiping technique, I guess. And I don't know if I've ever done this before, but I've seen a lot of people do it. So I'm doing a heavy hand at the top and kind of lightly lifting up the ink pad towards the bottom to get more of like an ombre effect. And I love the mixed media fill this technique gives. It's not perfect, and I actually really like that. All right, so I am using the ink pad direct to the paper, and I have it at an angle. So I'm not swiping flat down. It is slightly at an angle so that I can get that ombre or faded look. And I was showing you there that over time, the ink kind of levels itself out, and there is some areas where it's a little bit too dark, and then it doesn't gradually go in to lighter, but it will kind of even out over time. And I put some darker streaks just to give it a little bit more interest, and you want to make sure that is totally dry before moving on to the next step. And I am using the little stamps in the stamp set. Instead of using the main stamp, I decided to do something a little bit different. So I took some of those little stamps, and they're like dotted. One has little lines, and I think this one I'm using the star. So I'm taking it and I have it on my stamp block, and I am just randomly stamping them with some VersaMark ink. And I am going to be embossing them with some white embossing powder in just a little bit. But I really like that there is so many different ways that you can use this stamp set. And there is so many wonderful sentiments. There's for you, happy holidays, happy birthday, just because, and there is two different fonts. And the just and happy, as you can see, are a little bit larger, and then there is some coordinating smaller stamps to go with it. So I am, again, just randomly stamping on my cardstock here, and I am doing more on towards the top and then kind of more spread out towards the bottom. That way I get that same kind of feel of the ombre or gradient look, so more stamping on top and then less towards the bottom. And I now am taking them individually. So before I had 3 on the stamp block, now I'm just taking them one by one and randomly stamping. And it doesn't have to be perfect, it's totally random. All right, so now I am taking some superfine white embossing powder from Ranger, and I am adding it to the stamped images. And it sticks to the VersaMark if you are not familiar with heat embossing. So the VersaMark is very sticky ink, and you add embossing powder and then you use a heat tool to melt it onto the paper like I'm doing now. And you could see that I added more stamping towards the top and less towards the bottom. So I am trimming it down just a tad, so it is about 1/4 inch smaller than my card base. This will just give a little bit extra interest to the card. and I love having that edge on my cards. So I am just using a tape runner here to adhere the panel to the card base. And I forgot to mention that the stamped panel here is just some cheap cardstock. I like how it absorbs all of that ink. And then for the card base, it is a A2 top folding card from Simon Says Stamp. Very heavyweight. I absolutely love these. I'm definitely going to have to get more. And I adhered the panel to the card base, and now I am stamping out my sentiment. I wanted it to be just pretty simple, and I like this for you because it could be for anything. Birthday, just a hello, just very generic. And I stamped it on some black cardstock and embossed it with some white embossing powder. All right, here is the splatters. It would not be a project from me if it didn't have splatters, so I am using my favorite, which is the Picket Fence spray from Ranger, and I feel it gives the best white splatters without having to mix paint together or like paint and water or anything like that. It's just all there, and it's very opaque for the most part. I had to actually add a little bit of the re-inker to it, which I didn't mind. It will last me for a long time. So I am adding my sentiment, and I popped it up with some foam. And I get my foam at Walmart. It's very cheap, or you can get it on Amazon. And I'm just showing you the variation of cards. And here is the stamp set again. I absolutely love it. The big stamp was amazing, but I wanted to do something a little bit different. Here is another look at the cards. You can always head on over to my website, TiffanySolorio.com, where I have a blog post over there with more information and also a full supply list. There is one in the description box as well, but you can definitely go on over to my website if you would like. Here is a couple more videos you might enjoy, and I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys later. Bye!